Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house. And today I'm in the house with a wee knife, Gava. This is a pretty cool knife. And we're gonna analyze the look, the sound, and the feel of this little guy. But hey, don't forget to like the video and to subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying this kind of content. Let's start with this little cool knife over here. Just checking out the size. This is not a huge knife. It's a very cool size because overall length of this one is going to be 7.6 inches with a 3-inch long blade. Like cutting edge is going to be 3 inches, but the overall length of the blade, because you consider the sharpening tool, is going to be maybe 3.25 inches. And let's see how this guy compares, for example, up against Ontario Rat number 2 and Ontario Rat number 1 right over here. Look at this. It's a little bit bigger than the Ontario Rat number 2, of course, smaller than the 1. Let's just check another couple options here from Benchmade. We've got the mini bag out and the bag out, of course. And this guy is bigger than both. So bag out is not a huge knife, but it's going to be a little bit smaller than the Gava. Another couple options from Spyderco you get to see. Here is the Paramilitary 2 and this is the Para 3. So you got the two options from Spyderco and you can see that this guy is right in between these two offerings from Spyderco. So very cool EDCable size. For example, like another super cool one is the Chris Reeve Knives Small Sebenza 21. Here you see in a spirograph blade, and here you can see the large Sebenza 21, which is a big boy compared to the Wii knife, but you can see that the Chris Reeve knife is a little bit smaller than that, so which sometimes can feel small. So there you have it. Now you can get to check some coolness from Shirogorov. This is the Neon R20, and you can see that this is a fantastic size, and it's exactly the same size pretty much of the Gava. This is the Shirogorov F95 Nudist Slim, and let me show you just another couple because we have them here. Something a little bit fancier. This is the Alliance Design Mini Slim Pickens. Really cool one. And I want to show you also another couple options, a little more popular. This is the Hinder Knives XM18, and you can see that, of course, this is a 3.5-inch long blade, and it's bigger than this little guy over here. And the Slim Mini Pickens is, of course, smaller than that. Let me show you, for example, like a small Sebenza 31. It's another titanium frame lock. You can see, of course, it's going to be smaller than that. Let me show you what we have here. Like a Riat Tribute. That's a little fella, a nice zirconium bolster, but you're gonna see that, look at that, that's very small compared to that. If you wanna see, let me show you, like, this is a nice one. This is a Hostile Intent from Roy Custom Knife, and it's something that you don't really get to see often around. But also let me show you another couple over here. This is the Mnandi, also of Chris Reeve Knives, a nice gentleman's knife. And what else? Just another couple of big boys. This is the large Curtis F3 with that nice Dama steel blade, and this is the huge boy. This is the Custom Knife Factory muscle right here in the house. So just to dwarf this this little guy right over here. But I mean, let's check this guy out because this is a nice one. This is a nice titanium frame lock designed by Rafał Brzeski, the same designer of the Wasabi, which was a pretty popular knife from Wii Knife, and a little bit bigger than this guy over here. This is a nicely done knife, guys. The cost of this one is around $250, so more or less in that ballpark, and you're gonna see that it's beautifully done. It's a nicely milled titanium frame lock. You get to see some very cool milling. Look at this. Around the pivot, nice job. On both sides, of course. Look at this. It's impressive, especially for the price. I mean, this is a knife made in China, and the price is it's pretty good for what you get. The overall look is very nice lately. Wii Knife is pretty much, I think they stepped up their game, and they are employing some very cool designs, and they're doing something pretty good, pretty solid for the value. Look at these lines, like the faceted scales, the black stonewash titanium, the chamfering going on all around, external chamfering, internal chamfering. I mean, there's some internal skeletonization to reduce the overall weight. There's no finger grooves, just a little bit less area than I would have preferred here to disengage the lock bar, but it's not that bad. I mean, I always prefer something like, for example, like in this case, you have much more clearer area to go and disengage the lock bar, but in this case, you still can do it. You have just, as you can see, just a little bit of area right there, not much finger grooves. You have a titanium milled, also black, matching the scales, backspacer, sorry. There is no lanyard hole option, as you can see in this guy, so forget about that. You're gonna see that the blade is absolutely and perfectly centered and absolutely safe. There's no way you're gonna be able to touch the tip, even if you try to jam your fingertip right over here. Flipper tab, absolutely cool, not obtrusive, just sticking out just a little bit with some jimping and some chamfering, so it's going to be good for the light switch like that. And also you can do like a push button. There's a little bit of finger soreness, like because you're going to have to push it like downward this way, and you have a little bit of a pointy thing. It's rounded off and chamfered, so it's not like that sharp, but like that is going to hurt a little bit more, of course, than doing just like that. Something really cool about this guy is that it's using a T8 Torx bit screw to take it apart, and it's very, very straightforward. You can also check my disassemble video if you're interested in how to maintain this little guy. The screws are perfectly flush with the handle, they're not protruding, and the construction is super simple. You have, of course, like one pivot and one screw over here, which is passing through the backspacer and just screwing into the titanium pocket clip, which is on this side. So basically you just need to unscrew this one, the clip comes off, and then you're gonna have to tackle that screw, which is tucked in right underneath the clip, so don't try to do that first. And then you can approach the pivot and the knife is just gonna come apart. So very, very simple construction and simple disassembly procedure for sure. Also, you've got a captive pivot, which is fantastic. So on this side, the Wii has a notch on the underneath, which is gonna be captive and not spinning during the disassemble, which is a fantastic, fantastic thing. Of course, you've got an integrated lock bar stabilizer integrated within the stainless steel lock face insert, screwed in from the outside with a bronze screw matching the pivot screw, and of course the other handle screw. So nice little touch to give that little pop of color. Really, really cool. You've got an external lock bar relief right over here, ceramic detent ball. Very, very nice. As I said, the clip is 3D mill titanium tip-up carry only. It's not reversible, just made for right-handed people. You've got a 3-inch long stone wash blade, which has one of the most attractive profiles that I've seen lately. Like, this notched area is super cool. This wedge is absolutely fantastic. Look at how they made this like start like a little bit late after this notch, and then goes here, and then you have like sweeping down, and then you have the wedge like that, which is sweeping upward, like in this point, and then you just goes down to the point, and then you have like maybe like 40-50% belly and straight edge up to the sharpening choil. Really, really thin behind the edge. This is a perfect slicer. Look at the stock thickness. It's really thin and it's done right. Flat grind. Almost full flat grind, there's no finger choil, but it's really thin behind the edge, really, really cool. And I also love the fact that it's pretty much a sterile blade on the show side and just the Rafal Breast Key logo right over here, which actually looks very, very cool. You've got also a nice edge symmetry and nice grind symmetry between the two sides of the blade, which is always something very, very nice. There's no jimping going on over here. The only jimping you're gonna see is gonna be on the flipper tab, and it's in the right space, the right spot, because this is where you're going to do your light switch opening mechanism, where you're going to use that. So it's nice. I would have preferred maybe a little bit of jimping here. It feels a tiny bit slippery, but it's okay. It's just like that. The sound of this guy, it's nice. It's not like very distinctive or something like wow, with a wow factor. But it's pleasant, it's nice and clicky, and pretty discreet when you close it down. You can even feel and hear, the whoosh of the ball bearings, like that. So it's very, very interesting. It's a little bit, it's not too loud. It's pretty discreet when you close it, so it's nothing special, nothing to write home about, but it's pleasant. It's not obnoxious. That's what I mean. This guy, it's not that heavy because, of course, it's titanium. There's some internal skeletonization, and it's not that big. In fact, the overall weight in your pocket is going to be 3.75 ounces. So that's pretty good. Nothing too crazy. You're not going to feel like too much weight in your pocket. From the feel department, I feel like if I squeeze the handle, I'm just gonna get maybe just a tiny bit of hot spot, not too much from this clip over here. I can feel a little bit of sharp edge around the area of the flipper tab, but everything else is pretty solid in place. You have a little bit of tight area here to disengage the lock bar. It's still doable. You have some milled out area here in the lock bar, but I would have preferred something a little bit wider and a little bit easier for my thumb to get it, but nothing too crazy. Overall, you can, there's nothing much to choke up because, you kind of can do this, but the blade is sharp up to the sharpening choice, so it can be a little bit risky to perform kind of like a little bit more advanced grip. The reverse grip also can work. It's okay. Like that. There's a little bit of area here. You see, like this triangular area, just like boom, it goes like nicely. It fits nicely in my thumb, so it's still doable. Overall, the knife in the hand feels absolutely solid, especially because of the titanium slabs, the back spacer. It's really well put together. There's some little bit of texture here, so it's going to increase the grippiness of the handle, and the overall texture it's like not that it's kind of like slippery, but it's smooth. That's what I mean, and it has a nice stone wash finish and feels good to the touch when you just rub like your finger like that. It's just gonna feel nice. Fit and finish also absolutely spot on. I don't really see any misalignment, any gap, anything wrong. Look at, I mean, it's perfectly flush. There's no rattling when shaken. It's well put together. If you open the blade, you check for blade plates, solid. There's no lock stick. Absolutely, like very good. Deploys reliably. You can do push button, you can do light switch. It's just gonna deploy all the time. You can, of course, fail it, like you can pretty much fail every knife, but it's the detent is good. Also, like the clip feels good. There's a right amount of tension, the right amount of clip ramp in and out, so it's gonna be pretty easy to get it in and out of your pocket, so very, very good. You have of course, some ceramic caged ball bearings running around the pivot. That's why the action is very good, like nice deployment. As you can see, it's pretty smooth, and the closing action it just needs a little wiggle like that, and the blade is just gonna close nicely. So you have free fall effect, of course, like as soon as you disengage the lock bar like that, you can see the blade is just freely spinning, and then the detent is just gonna do a little bit of pressure, so to avoid the guillotine effect when you hold it vertically, just a little nudge like that, and boom, blade is closed. So very nice controlled closing action, not guillotine by any mean. And you have like a medium, light medium strength detent, nothing dangerous, so really cool. You are missing a detent ball ramp, so you're gonna feel a little bit of hard step like right here, and also detent suction, it's a little bit on the low side, so you're gonna have to, you see, like up to this point, you're gonna feel a little bit of magnetic effect going on. I mean, not too much, but overall, this guy is looking good, has a very nice aesthetics. I really appreciate the lines going on, the straight line, the edgy geometry. Handle to blade ratio, it's not optimal, but it's fine in this case because it's a very good one. Ergonomics are also absolutely good. There's a little bit of hotspot over here, a little bit of area that I would have preferred a little bit more room for my thumb, but overall it looks good, sounds okay. And also the ergonomics in the hand are feeling pretty good. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching. Stay tuned.